Looks a little bit pixelated. It's all right there.
That's what we're sending out. Yeah. Let's just see if anyone comes back with anything to let us know what
Mr.
is
Green,
going
Reggaetology,
on.
Blue Fliggy,
We hear Crystal
Nicole
better.
Kisser.
Yeah.
Does it sound back to our regularly scheduled jugglings? Crystal clear. Okay, wicked. We apologise for that, mother lovers.
Yes.
As I said, we've had to set up at my yard because I'm on quarantine. It's the best way we could stick to regulations. And because we decided to try and use, you know what I mean, a different system, yeah. Turn up mice a little. Shout out to
Turn
Black
up mice a
Einstein.
little.
Yo, that's why I love you lot, man. Serious. You lot see what's going on. This is new to us, man. We you know what I mean? It's not like we're winging it exactly. We ain't got wings on that end. We're handling it. But yeah, you know, we thought, all right, then let's move it over to mine just to stick to regulations and rules and concordances.
Yeah, we've
and
got to stick to regulations.
whatever the fuck they call them. And then, yeah, it didn't really work that well. But, you know, we're back on the usual, you know what I mean? Luckily, D brought his laptop. That's what they're there for. Got Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? All right, so we're back in the program. So the shit you might not never know nothing about, hit that like button, hit that share button, let people know that you're in the building with us. Myself, MysDiggi, my co-host, Dan DNA.
On this side.
Yeah.
If people could see what's going on with my cables, they'd understand what's. I've had to bring all my cables with me, and I've had to bring all this section of the wall with me.
Yeah.
As well to your tiny flat. So we've got all this section all. We built all this out of plasterboards. Everything above here isn't real.
Yeah.
It's all a set.
Exactly.
With your green, but using your green screen.
Yeah. It's got to be
bit,
done. Innit?
Bit crazy.
Before I bring up my, I mean, man's got a little green screen there. You know what I mean? I don't want to brag on that end, but I got a little green screen. You know what I mean? Man's got a little blue screen. Well, you don't know about the blue screen, though. I know Blue Figgy's got the blue screen. Yeah, I'm a bit... I probably need to tilt the camera up a bit.
Yeah.
A bit cut off, apparently. Shout out to Cuz. Giving me the old... You know what I mean?
Don't want too much headroom. That's
Yeah.
about it there. Yeah?
That's nice. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's going on, mother lovers? Hope everyone out there is feeling good. You know what I mean? Midweek. It's Wednesday. Woden's Day. Odin's Day. You know what I mean? And it's that time
Got
for
some of
some
that
shit
coming.
you might not never know nothing about. The 5 headers, yeah, that's it. As long as you lot see all of this, then I know I'm in shot. You know what I mean? I know I'm in the camera shot because from time you see a reflection here.
Don't rub it too much. You rub the makeup off.
Yeah, for real, innit? That's natural bling. There ain't no makeup, though. That's natural bling. Look. Yeah, that's rare. You don't get to see that often. You see how the green is even, it's a slight green. That's how much I shine.
Got any? Is any shows coming up?
Yeah, we got, Lost Horizon in Bristol is coming up.
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on.
Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Yeah, man. That's forever going to give me jokes, boy. So September the 30th, we're going to be at Lost Horizon. Myself performing live. You're going to have a couple other people there, man like Wishmaster. Also Billy Wiz. And the Alley Cat's going to be down there as well. That's Lost Horizon. Let me find you lot the address. You know what I mean? Because I know how you lot like to get postcodes and all shoe sizes, like all types of information. You lot don't play around when it comes to getting that info. Yeah, so Lost Horizon. This is going to be a good one, man. I'm looking to let off the...
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to get, you know what I mean? Well, we ain't really got to perform that often the last year and a half, so when it's time to hit the stage, I know every artist does the same thing. They're just like, yo, it's going to go off. Like, so shout to Wishmaster and Billy Wiz and Alley Cat. Lost Horizon, that's 1 to 3 Elton Street, St. Jude's, Bristol. BS2 9EH, you get me? And it's, guess what? It's free.
Free.
Mother lovers can come through for free.
How come? What's the
deal?
Yeah.
Man, you know what I mean? It's a MysDiggi event, man. It's like, if I'm going to do it,
You get your first hit of nitrogen for free.
yeah. After all this time, people ain't really had a chance to go out properly. You know what I mean? If you ain't had a chance to go to any festivals or, because there's been a few festivals on here and there, come through.
This is your re-up. You get your free,
man.
booster jab of nitrogen.
Yeah, exactly.
Before the winter.
Yeah, before the winter. You ain't got to worry about no antibodies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, get your free jab, man. Your MysDiggi jab. Mystrogen. It's sort of like oxygen, though you need it a lot more, brother lovers. A whole lot more. You know what I mean? Fuck all this other shit they're trying to give you out there. Get some of that Mystrogen. And that's going to be at Lost Horizon. Then also in London, I'm going to be down at the Chip Shop on October the 7th with the And What London crew. So that's going to be another fun event. If you can get on down there, October the 7th at the Chip Shop. There'll be a flyer coming soon, I can bet, no doubt. And and then the rest is like, I'll let you lot know as soon as they're confirmed and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, man. If anyone wants to come down, shout out to IBMC's in the building. If you lot want to come down, Bristol, come we go. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Who's down Bristol way out of anyone in the chat? Down that way?
Down the West Country sides.
Any Bristol people in the chat?
Yeah, man. And shout out to Res One, who we had last week. Well, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Last episode. He's out of Bristol. Shout out to the Split Profits up front, all the crew. And yeah, man, we had a good chat. It's really good catching up with people, you know what I mean, on this sort of platform as well, because I feel like obviously with artists, the main thing people hear from them is their music.
Yeah.
But then other than that, it's like them promoting their music. You know, they'll be talking about the album or whatever. So it's kind of cool to chat to people, artists outside of just the music.
Yeah.
It's like, what else do you get up to and what do you do? So that's what's going to be interesting about chatting to our guest tonight. My brother, Mem-DVG. We're going to be chatting to him tonight, going into a deep dive. So I hope you lot are ready, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mr. Green. I know you're going to be ready for this one. Yeah, man. Hit that like button, please. And also share if you can and let people know that you're locked in. You know what I mean? We want to get more people in this, so we got to start learning how to promote it properly. I still ain't worked it out yet, but
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, man.
We'll get the setup will get worked out and the promotion as well.
Yeah. Once we got the setup, like,
yeah,
then it's like, okay, now we can promote it, and it really,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You lot are working with us as well. Yeah, so you got to let us know.
Street team.
Yeah, Mr. Green's in the building. That's good to see. Woo! Yeah, boy. So what's been going on? Last week, I got out to Bordeaux. I was lucky enough to go visit my friends, Smokey Joe and the kid. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It was a business trip, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't just for pleasure. You know,
Yeah.
I managed to hit the pool, though. It was nice and sunny. So I weren't mad at that at all. Mosquito bites. Bruv, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, I'm enjoying this.
But you actually missed the
Scratching.
mosquito bites.
It's
Yeah.
weird. It was weird. I was happy to get bit. Yo, Mice, do you want some mosquito spray? I was like, nah, I'm good, bruv. I was like that.
I'm out. At least I'm out.
Bruv, I'm good. You know, just scratching this shit. Just like, yo, it feels good. It feels good to get fucking, you know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, how am I excited about getting bitten by mosquitoes? I could see lizards and that. You know what I mean? I'm in France, like south-ish of France. So it ain't like I'm, you know what I mean, on some island somewhere, but still, it just felt like, yo, you're away.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing little lizards and shit. fucking mosquito. Yeah, man, it was fun, man. And then, but we went there, we got some work done. I was out there for 4 days, man. And yeah, tear out, you know what I mean? When you're rapping all day, it does, you know what I mean? It takes its toll. Your voice is like, yo, okay.
What's the setup? Do you do like a couple of rehearsals a day, or is it just like five runs through, or what's
so with this, they got a new album they're dropping, and so it's a new set, and so there's a couple tunes from the old set, but there's a decent amount of new ones as well. So it was more like, because it's they're a production duo, but one of them will play electric drums as well. He plays banjo and guitar, and then the other plays bass, but then they both jump on the machine as well and do their little, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing. But then they've got a horn section as well. And so in this is obviously because we're, you know, just getting the set sort of into some form of structure and then working through that. It was mainly like they would work with the horns first on certain bits and then bring us in, you know, when they needed us sort of to find out whether it works with the vocal sort of thing, and then we'd run through different ways and then go, okay, yeah, this is it, and then it'll be on to the next parts as well. So it'll be a few tunes. There's quite a few new bits and bobs. And then me and a guy called Yoshi the original. He's a rapper out of, he's from Paris, but he lives in Bordeaux now. And we had to, because there's some tunes that we're not on, but we're going to perform on, there was certain, we was like, okay, we should write verses here, back and forth and whatnot. So there are bits and bobs that we did for that. So it'll be pretty cool because there's stuff that's just for this live show as opposed to even being out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so that was quite a lot of fun. And then, you know what I mean? Get back. Now I'm home on quarantine. Yeah, that's how it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my Twitch crew.
Yeah, just noticed that.
Yeah, that's good to see, man. Shout out to Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, I like the name, boy. Bruce Willis. Wait, is that Blue Fliggy?
Oriental. Oh, it
Bruce
is.
Willis.
It is.
Yeah. I was like, yo, I recognize that name. Bruce Willis. Yeah. Okay, Fliggs, right, he switched over to Twitch. That's deep, boy. See it there? All the share waves.
On all the platforms.
All the share waves, fam. Yeah, man. So now, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's been getting a bit weird, isn't it? It's like all of a sudden there's a lot more confusion out there. It's like never ending, D.
No.
It feels like everyone's relaxed a little bit, you know, to a certain extent. Like there's a lot less sort of tension and people walking around looking crazy. But at the same time, it seems like, there's even more confusion out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm starting to feel like there's too much, pardon me, you know, like content being thrown out there it seems to just be about, you know, negative, like the negative energy. It's always just showing, oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is bad. Oh, you know, everything's like, and I feel like that alone, even though it's making people aware, it's making some people shit their pants. You know what I mean? That we have to be careful of that. Like, it's not like everyone
so you
can
might
really
ram the pills too far down that they spit them back out again. That's
yeah,
the
man.
problem, yeah.
You're shitting back out. It might go that far,
that's
boy.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All types of orifices just... yeah, man. So, you know, that's the thing. I think we definitely got to be careful about like who we're sharing information with, as well as how we're sharing it. Do you know what I mean? Do you really want people to feel bad about themselves, or do you want them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think we should be putting that type of energy out there because it seems to be causing more, you know, friction than we need, and the focus is in the wrong place because of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But there's also the you know, the establishment will be taking control of some of that, that sort of the counter arguments, and sort of pushing them in a certain direction. You know, so first of all, when these things start, they've got like a bit more of a positive energy to them. But as the, like the 77th Brigade type stuff, where it's like the government, the military's got its own internet squadron called the 77th Brigade, that just their job is to just sort of spread stuff on the internet. So you see lots of accounts that say the same thing over and over again. They argue with people all day on Twitter, and they're getting paid to do that by the military. So it's like a complete, an actual unit, 77th Brigade. So their job is to sort of spread disinformation, demoralize people, all the rest of it. So at the beginning, it starts off with a positive idea, but as they sort of grip hold of the message and start manipulating it, it starts turning into like a sort of
negative.
You get like a lot more fear put out there, a lot more sort of disinfo, and even boosting certain accounts that they know are spreading incorrect information. They'll boost them so that a lot of people jump on it, and then they'll discredit them. So you get a lot of people getting demoralised afterwards of like, well, that person was like that Charlie Ward type guy, oh, that person was wrong. Oh, I could never believe anything again. I might as well go back to reading the paper and watching telly.
Wow, man, it's crazy the lengths these people go to, boy. Like, it's mad. You know what I mean? To just keep us all thinking the wrong things, thinking about bullshit.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Right.
Should we want to go to a guest?
Yeah, man. Let's get our guest in, man. We're getting in there. See it there, Mr. Green Nose, Secret Wars. What do they call it? Silent weapons for silent wars. Let's call in to our guest, see if he's there with us.
Do you want to give him a text first? And just check that he's...
Let me hit up, man. Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. You're just like, rah. These are really just want us to.
What Mr. Green's saying? What do you mean, Meist? I think all Meist was on about is that the guest tonight. You're in particular. You'll probably be. Killer
Army,
interested in it, or you might have a few things to say. That's all.
I
don't
reckon
think he's saying anything bad. He's just
well,
saying,
I'll be interested to see how he feels about it, because it's quite interesting, man. It's really, really interesting. Like the whole idea of even like mystery schools as well. He's like, what kind of mysteries are they talking about? And then you find out it's all this shit and symbolism and stuff that we don't even look at all. It's amazing. Symbolism.
Yeah.
That's true. Reagantology says propaganda got so much easier with tech, I guess, but up to us to overstand and use for good. It's true, man.
Yes, Mr. Green is all ears. Good guy.
That's good to hear. Yeah, he's good, man.
Yeah, so the technology is their wet dream, because you don't know who's at the other end anymore, do you? So as much as it's like, it's nice that you're anonymous in some things and that you can have your little avatar, but that could also be bad because it could be anyone.
Yeah.
And you're putting all your trust in somebody who you've never met, you've never looked in the eye, you've never had a proper conversation with them outside of the topic that they talk about all the time. You don't know, really. You don't know which people are schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenics. You don't know which people are military operations. You just don't know.
Don't know which are like 9-year-olds.
No, that's it. What was that thing that all the women on the internet are men, and all the children on the internet are FBI agents or something. That's what he used to say.
Yeah.
All the men are little boys. All the men are little boys. All the women are men, and all the children are FBI agents.
Fucking hell. It could easily be that.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. So when you're out there arguing, like I know a few people when they've spoken to me about, going back and forth, bruv, I was going back and forth with my man. I was like, Rad, do you know them? Like, do you actually know them? No, but he pissed me off. I was like, bruv, you don't even know if it's a he, first of all. You don't know who is on the other side that you're just going back and forth with like that.
Yeah.
And then what did you get out of it in the end anyway? Apart from like arthritis and your knuckles and shit. Dehydrated.
Yeah. Stay up late. Lost loads of sleep.
Lost loads of sleep. Nothing. You ain't get shit. Arguing online, That shit's like, it's mad. But first of all, you're typing. Like, how the fuck are you arguing typing? Like, what is that? You're typing, like, think about it. Like, you're getting mad on the computer. Like, bruv, come on, man.
You use those typing skills for something else and get your...
What the fuck? Like, man, arguing online type, bruv, so I told my man, yeah. I was like, it's like,
Yeah.
You
have to get yourself
you're losing it, man.
power bank thing just because of the amount of social media you're getting through in a day.
Power bank, you know. Fuck, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gleam, don't even try laughing, man. I remember back in the day, you was going in, man. The flat earth jugglers. You lot was going in for 4 days, boy. Man were arguing for 4 days. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. You know, like, there was where you're just getting like little 20-minute naps. And 20
Sleeping 20 minutes every 4 hours, like
Yo.
Galileo or something.
Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Like, you wake up thinking of something else and like, yo, right, mama said blah, blah, blah. You wake up. Like in the dream, you remember some shit he said. And you wake up out of the dream like, yo, right, boy. 4 days, boy. You lot was going in on the flat earth, man. If Uncle Baz was around there, boy, jeez. You lot would have gone in. He's still on it, bro. He done it on a weekly, keeping the spirit sharp. Nah, I hear that, man. It's jokes. Tap,
Right.
tap, 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 tap.
I think we might have...
Mem-DVG, let's get into this, way. Woo-hoo. I'm excited, you lot. I'm excited, man. Yeah.
Hello.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
I think
Can you
we
hear
can
us?
hear you. Can you hear us?
Yep, can hear you, man.
Yeah. I guess turn him up a little bit, innit? Was
Yeah.
it? How are you, man?
Yeah, all good, brother. Thanks for having me on, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing.
I've just got to sort him out in the shot. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep talking. You can have a little
Introducing to
intro.
you, mother lovers, right about now, a syncretist. What do you say? Geometriaist? Nah, you don't say that, do you? You say syncretist, though. You say a man with a lot of knowledge that you might not never know nothing about. That's what this show is about, by the way, Mem. We talk about shit you might not never know nothing about. And I know we're going to get into that with this conversation right here with my brother, Mem-DVG. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a warm welcome, please. Let's see some hand clap emojis in the comments or some shit, you know what I mean? Was there fire emojis, arrow emoji? What other emojis are there? Volcano emojis,
Clapping emoji.
W emojis. What's going on, Mem?
Yeah, all good, brother, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Really looking forward to our conversation, man.
All right, good to have you on, bruv.
Yeah,
Serious.
thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. And you
It's
met
all
my
good.
host, Dan DNA. Yeah, see it there. They're going off in there. Shout out to Edward Hal Amarak. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think I said that right. Shout out to the crew in the building. We got my brother here, Mem-DVG. What's going on, man? So,
Yeah,
known this guy for a while, through the rap world, of course. Crazy spitter. One of those, deep guys. One of the ones where you got to rewind it and like, right, oh shit, and then you have to probably research as well. Like, what is that? So always interesting to listen to, but of
cheers,
late,
bro.
I've been getting into a lot more astrotheology, a lot more zodiac signs. You know what I mean? A lot more spiritual sort of aspects of what the world is as well. You know what I mean? I realize some people, it's a bit weird, isn't it? When you talk about spirituality, they're like, oh, I don't really, okay, I'm not sure. And I've always wondered, is there a reason for that? You know what I mean? So for some reason, especially this moment that we've been going in, it feels like one moment since last year, March. It's just one long ass hour, boy, that ain't stopped ticking away. Yeah, that you start like soul searching. You start looking within a lot more. I know people know what I'm talking about. So I started discovering all this stuff, and then one of the videos that I bumped into was one with this guy here, my brother DVG. He was talking with a guy that I'd been following called Santos Bonacci, and this guy's like heavy on the whole that side of things in terms of syncretism and astrotheology and astrology, and all these things. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, yo, I know that guy, man. I know that guy. And he's talking to this, to Santos Bonacci. I'm like, rah, Mem, deep. And then I'm watching this video, and it's like he started schooling, this guy on certain things. And I was like, wow. Like, I didn't realize you were so deep into all of this. So I was just like, yo, I cannot wait to chat to you and find out a bit more. Yeah, see it there. Shout out to Bluefoot. You remember Bluefoot, innit?
Yeah. Big up Bluefoot, man. Big up, bro.
He said spiritual jugglings. So yeah, man. Mem, break down. So obviously I know you through the rap world and whatnot, but can you tell me how did you start getting into this? And first of all, can you explain what it is? You know what I mean? I say astrotheology or syncretism.
Okay, yeah, basically, my diving deep journey, I would say, started in 2013 when I started experimenting and using cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really a smoker before then, but then I went to Amsterdam one time on my own, and I was going through a time in my life where it was just a bit of a rough kind of period. So I went away on my own, and then I had a little smoke. I just bought a pre-rolled one from the coffee shop.
Wow, you're brave, man.
And after that, I just found I just felt really good, and it's like it brought out a confidence in me, if that makes sense. And I just started. Once I got back to England, I was using cannabis a bit more, and then all of a sudden I just found myself diving deep and researching, and obviously I watched the usual stuff that everyone watches, like Zeitgeist and Kymataca and all that. And then I got into looking into Graham Hancock, but then I would say the real rabbit hole started in 2015. When I come across Santos Bonacci's video called Know Thyself Part 2, and I watched how he broke down the whole zodiac wheel and how all the holidays are based on the zodiac wheel, and he was going into language and etymology. And after I watched that video, it's like someone had slapped me around the face, and I just woke up out of a dream.
Yeah.
He made.
Oh. We lose him.
No, but he's still no.
And since then, I've just been on looking into stuff a lot deeper. I've looked stuff that I'm really interested in is astrology, astrotheology, gematria, etymology, occult sciences. I'm into been looking into a lot more health related stuff recently, and just a mixture of everything. And the science that Santos teaches is called syncretism, which basically means unifying all fields of knowledge and showing that it all has a connection, basically.
And so that connection is sort of there was a beginning, and then this thing spread. But as it spread throughout the different tongues that were speaking it. Is it that sort of thing? And then because when you're saying it all, as in syncretism having all a connection, in what way was it connected?
For example, numbers are connected to letters. Letters are connected to language, and then through language, that's connected to astrology, and astrology is connected to alchemy, and then alchemy is connected to science. And it's just when you study everything in a more of a, how can I say, rather than excluding everything, saying, "Oh, this is this and this is that." It's like they're all one thing, but different parts of it. Like, for example,
Mm,
you can look at a forest, you can see an individual tree, or you can see the whole forest.
mm,
Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I would use that as an analogy, if that makes sense.
Well, what's interesting about you saying that is, yeah, and the trees are actually all connected, like,
Exactly.
but it's unseen because it's in the soil. So all the roots are
Yeah.
connected via psilocybin or something like that, innit? And then they all can communicate. If one tree's not getting enough water, they can send water over to that tree. But we never see any of that. And I guess like
Exactly.
what you do is you dig up through the mud, you know what I mean? And then look at the roots and see how these things are all connected in some way. Like,
Exactly, bro. That's a great analogy.
cheers, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm no formal way. So what I found really interesting about the conversation you had with him was that like a lot of his stuff kind of breaks down a lot more, say like Vedic religions as well as Christianity and
Yep.
Judaism, but they didn't touch too heavy on the Islamic side. And
Yep.
in your conversation, you like pulled up a few bits and bobs that I could tell he was even like, yo, wow, I didn't realize that. That's a really good point. And yeah, that made it, and I'd never really heard much of it either. And I'd wondered like, oh, is there stuff in the Quran that is kind of connected with the skies as well? And, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like all like ancient theology. Well, all theology is astrotheology, but they've basically in more recent times they've taken the astro part of it out because they don't want you to, because it's like a hidden text like the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, all the ancient books. They're all kind of allegories, but a lot of them are taken literal in the modern day, and I think this was done purposely by the people that be at the top, because if we really knew what those scriptures and texts really meant, or why particular things are celebrated at particular times of the year, then maybe we would see past some of it as being a facade, if that makes sense. Like why is Christmas in December and not in April, and why is Easter? Like, when you understand astrology and astrotheology, it makes a lot more sense rather than just Christmas is in December because it's in December. There's a reason, or there's a symbolism behind what Christmas is about. Do you get what I'm saying? Or what Ramadan is about, or any other religious celebration. It's all based on particular parts of the year, which gives it that extra meaning, or like a symbolic meaning, if that makes sense. Like the reason why Christmas is on the 25th of December, because one, that's the first day of winter, so the sun's got to its lowest point. So from the 25th onwards, the sun can only climb back towards the summer in the northern hemisphere. So that's why Jesus is born on the 25th, because the sun starts rising back up towards the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere. So it's based on the sun, basically. Christmas is just based on the rebirth of the sun.
So, the rebirth. And then what? And then they decided to make it, they personify the sun. To be...
Yeah, as Jesus, yeah, basically. The sun, the Jesus is the sun. Because that's why he's got 12 disciples, because the 12 disciples are the 12 months, or the 12 zodiac signs. Same with King Arthur and the 12 knights. It's all the same story, but it's just guised differently, if that makes sense. Or Hercules and his 12 labours. It's all about the sun going through the zodiac and its yearly kind of cycle, if that makes sense.
You know what I was wondering is like, so did they worship the sun as in the creator, or there's a creator that created the sun?
That's a really good point. Well, I don't know. Some people worship the sun as the creator, or some people know that obviously the sun is just a projection created from the source, if that makes sense. That's the way I see it. I don't see the sun as the creator, but the sun is obviously like the next archetype down, if that makes sense. The sun is like the middleman between the source and the material world, because white light, the sun, is all of the 7 colors of the electromagnetic spectrum condensed into one. If that makes sense. So what a really simple test you can do is, if you shine your torch onto your television, onto a black screen, a white light, you will see the electromagnetic spectrum come up, the rainbow on your television.
Onto the black mirror.
So basically it's like the sun is like the middleman between the physical world and the spiritual world. So I would say that the sun is just, it isn't like God, but he's God's son, which he is. Because God created
God's
the sun.
son.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's another thing. People take it literally when they say God's son. It's not talking about son as in,
Man.
well, it is, but it's also talking about the sun, because it is God's son, because God created the sun.
Yeah. And well, the other thing is then, I think there were people who worship the sun because the sun, in their mind, creates, because the sun makes things grow.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Maybe there's something to that then. Because, that's what it seems like. It's like, oh, there's a whole bunch of people or a whole bunch of civilizations that worship the sun. But then do they worship the creator of the sun as well? Or, does it stop there?
I guess that varies according to like religions or traditions. Like, for example, I know like in like the Islam religion, they don't worship the sun. They worship Allah, which is the creator of all things. But like, even if people were worshipping the sun, ultimately they're still worshipping the source creator, because it's a part of the source creator, if that makes sense. Like the moon, all the 7 planets are.
They're also all part of creation. Yeah, I guess I remember reading something that was talking about how back there was a time when people would, when they were trying to, the reason why like there was no name for God was that they, when they looked at everything, they were like, looking at beetles or looking at trees or, birds, and they're like, how do you explain this? Like, you can't really, how do you name how this became? And so that was, the sort of thing like, everything is God. Like, creation is God. Everything you see that man can't make, that's God right there. So I guess, in a sense, it's exactly the same thing as you're saying.
And
Who's
also, the root word of God is good, basically. It's just the same word as good, and devil is evil. So God, like believing in God, for example, like, like how some atheists say, oh, I don't believe in God, for example. But they do believe in God, because a lot of them believing in doing good things. And that is what ultimately believing in God is just being a good person. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to tie it to an entity or... do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can act, you just act in...
Yeah, you can act godly or you can act devilly, like evilly. So it just... Because in the material world, like everything is polarized. Like you have something called red shift and blue shift energy, because the electromagnetic spectrum or your chakras, from the bottom, at the bottom they're red and at the top they're blue. That's why everything is red and blue. Like sirens are red and blue, the taps are red and blue, Labour's red and Conservatives blue. Like all these red and blue polarities they show us in the world is because they're trying to explain the physical world, which is a red and blue world, whereas the spiritual world is a black and white world, like the yin yang. So the red and blue physical world comes from the black and white world, if that makes sense. I'm using that in simple terms, but if in a scientific way to explain that is the physical world is electricity, but that effect of electricity happens when dielectricity and magnetism come together, which is stillness and motion. So when they rub together, they create a hybrid, which is electricity, which is the physical world.
Oh, wow. Right, break that down again later. Hold on. Yeah, that went over my head. Say that again.
So basically,
Jeez.
the physical world we live in
Yeah.
is created from the spiritual world.
Uh-huh.
And it's two modes. It's dielectricity, which is stillness, and then magnetism, which is motion. So when they rub together, they create a child, which is a hybrid, which is electricity, like red shift and blue shift, basically. They create the electromagnetic spectrum. It's the same thing what I just said with if you shine your torch on a still black TV on a TV screen that's not on, it creates the rainbow inside the screen because white and black light creates red and blue light.
Jeez.
That's just like
and so you get
simple.
You get each light in between. Is the chakra the same as the rainbow, or?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is the same. Exactly the same.
Wow.
You have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, basically.
Jeez.
And the higher it goes up, the higher frequency it is. So the red chakra has 4 petals, whereas the crown chakra has 1,000 petals. So it's a higher vibration up here than it is down here because this part of your body is more dense. It's the foundation. So that's why red is stop on the traffic light because it's talking about density, like stop. Whereas green is the heart chakra, so it's talking about go. So it's just, even in the traffic lights, for example, they use these colours, but we don't know like why it's red or why it's green, but they're the reasons, basically.
So there's a deeper meaning to.
Of course, man. There's a deeper meaning for everything's got a meaning once you look into it or once you understand how like certain things work.
The language.
Yeah, the language, the colours, the numbers, the seasons, the day, all of it is all connected. Like I could go on forever, but it just depends on what you want to talk about specifically. Like, for example, I'll give you a quick example. Like, spring, summer, autumn, and winter is just a bigger fractal of the day. So spring would be the morning. The summer would correlate with afternoon. Evening would correlate with autumn, and winter would correlate with night. So you can see they're the same cycle, but just one is larger and one is smaller. So that's the idea of that is called a fractal-based universe. So it's just smaller cycle. There's one cycle, but there's bigger ones and smaller ones, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I get that. Because you got the yearly cycle, and then you got.
Yeah.
And I think even the monthly cycle can be done as well, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what the moon.
Yeah, the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, because the moon, like when it's a new moon, is when the sun and moon are together in the same sign, and when it's a full moon, is when the moon's done 180 opposite. And then when it comes back round, it's a new moon again. So that's how they work out the months, and that's how like the whole Islamic calendars used by using the moon rather than the sun. See, this is the different things. Like Judaism uses both the sun and moon in their calendars. Christianity is based on the sun, and Islam is based on the moon. So them 3 Abrahamic religions are like a holy trinity within themselves.
And so Judaism
uses the sun and moon calendar. Christianity uses the sun, and Islam uses the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, so they would correspond with Israel as well. So Is would be Islam, Ra the sun would be Christianity, and El would be Judaism, because that corresponds with Elohim, and they have a very Elohim or El is based on Saturn, and their Star of David is based on Saturn.
Jeez. So wait there. So because of that, then, I mean, and they call them Abrahamic religions. So
Yeah.
it sounds like it all did start from one place, and they, you know, like,
they're basically the Abrahamic religions it's all one religion really, but it's just in 3 different sects. One is based on the moon, one is based on the sun, and one is based on both. So like the first one was Judaism, then Christianity, then Islam. That's in according to history, but again, how accurate that is hard.
we don't know. And what's funny about that then is that, you know, it obviously seems like people conspired to get a bunch of people to follow or have beliefs in these different religions.
Yeah.
And for what reason would that be, do you think?
Just for division, like divide, and like just like football teams, like why these people like it. Just I guess certain vibes resonate with certain people more, and or just like depending on what part of the world you live, you would be given a particular religion. Like obviously the Muslim religion is kind of based in the Middle East, like generally speaking. And same all of them are really. That's why they're all fighting over Jerusalem, basically. And because this is why all this war's going on with Israel and Palestine and all that, because they supposedly want to fight for Jerusalem, like which is the holiest place in the world. But again, Jerusalem, in occult knowledge, is the top of the wheel. In the astrological wheel, Jerusalem is the top. So that's what Jerusalem really means. Like where they say, for example, another one like Noah's Ark landed on Mount Ararat, for example, in like scripture. Well, Mount Ararat is your head, and it's just talking about ascension and going from your lower nature to your higher nature. Because I don't know if you're aware as well, each zodiac sign is a part of the body. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
So it starts with
like you
Aries,
said, lion heart and all that.
Yeah. So it starts with Aries is the top half of the head.
Cerebrum.
Taurus is the bottom half of the head. And then you've got Gemini, the twins are your 2 hands. Got Cancer, Leo, then Virgo, the digestive system, Libra, the kidneys, Scorpio, the genital area, Sagittarius, the hips, Capricorn, the kneecaps, Aquarius, the shin, and Pisces, the 2 fish.
Jeez.
So
the feet.
Also,
yeah, Pisces, the feet, right? 2 fish.
Yeah, the feet, the 2 feet, yeah.
Wow.
So, like, for example, when Moses in the Bible went to a place called Peniel, which is talking about the pineal gland. That's where he came face to face with God when he went to a place called Peniel. But it's talking about bursting your 3rd eye and having a spiritual awakening. It's not an actual literal story. Do you get what I'm saying? This is where the confusion has happened with like Christianity and stuff. They think there was actually a guy called Moses and he came face to face with God. No, it's just talking about spiritual awakening, basically. That's all it's talking about.
And the reason it's talking about it like that is so that this sort of knowledge doesn't get into the wrong hands, you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they say, but I mean, because I don't know, they say that everyone's not meant to get this type of knowledge, it's only for the initiated, but again, I don't necessarily agree with that or disagree with that, because like, it's like, for example, I've given some people this knowledge and it just goes past their head, but some people get it, so I don't know, like, really. I mean, I guess if we was all taught it from a young age, maybe it would be easier for us to get, whereas when we've been programmed for so long, it's harder to break through that wall, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's that thing of, so, you always hear things like, oh, there's an African proverb, and then there'll be like, a couple lines or whatever, and even when you get like what's it, the lucky cookie, the Chinese cookie, what do you call it, fortune cookie, things like that, and it would just have like some kind of little micro mini poem or whatever. But it was like back in the day, it was easier to pass on stories or pass on some form of knowledge in the form of a story, because you'd remember, you know, like whatever, like Baa, black sheep, you know, one of them, you know, nursery rhymes or whatever, and you kind of carry that story on and it would keep going on, but people would get the allegory. They'll get, it wouldn't be like one word just meant one thing. One word can mean a few different things, but depending on that.
Exactly. That's
a
really good point you bring up, because in the Hebrew alphabet, one letter is for many different things, like you said. Like Aleph could mean like home, father. They all have loads of different meanings, if that makes it's like a symbol. And that symbol has many meanings. But another thing, I've also heard that the reason why the Bible and all of the Holy Scriptures are written in such a way is also because it's so deep that you can only explain it through allegory, if that makes sense. It's like hard to put into actual like literal words. It will take too long to write. So they kind of used a way where they philosophized all the deep knowledge and used it as like a metaphor. That's another thing that I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, well, when it gets to that point though, where you're putting like 5, 6, 7 stories into one, you know what I mean? I don't know how many. I think I could count probably 4, maybe 5 different levels of a story being told in one go. Do you know what I mean? But I was asking you earlier, like, do you think there are people out there that they know all those stories, like they know them in and out, so they know how to navigate, whether it be using the stars, whether it be knowing what time of year it is and when to sow seeds and when to harvest, or whether it be, looking after your body, like you're saying, on a health level, or even on a spiritual level, you know what I mean? Like, and then law as well. Are there people out there that understand all these different levels of what, these stories are being told?
There's definitely people like, and even like known kind of, not academic, but I'd say like, I don't know if you know, like people, like, have you heard of Manly P. Hall?
Yeah, bruv, Manly P. Hall. You mean this guy here, yeah?
Yep, exactly. So people like him, Manly P. Hall, Rudolf Steiner is another good guy. If you like Manly P. Hall, you'd like someone called Rudolf Steiner.
Yeah.
Again, like amazing information on all of this kind of, like all levels of it, like, and like, because obviously, like I said, the astrological zodiac goes through your body, so that kind of just say the scripture that's talking about the stars is also talking about that part of your body, for example.
From the macro to the microcosm.
Yeah, so for example, I think there's a part in the Bible where it talks about there was a bunch of girls that went to see Jesus, and there was 5 virgins and 5 non-virgins, and all the virgins had oil in their lamp so Jesus could see them. So what that's talking about is, like, in your body, they say that basically every time you release like your sexual fluids, you're basically killing yourself. So what you're supposed to do to get illuminated is do white tantra and not release that fluid. And the more you leave that in your body, it circulates and illuminates your crown chakra. So like all these little stories in the Bible are all like allegories for like stuff like this, like in terms of physiology. But that's also, you can relate that to spring, because Aries, your head, is related to spring because that's the first sign of spring. So that's where like they have double meanings and stuff like that.
So how did it work? Like, because I've heard that we used to just have 10 months in the year, and that's why you've got like, November, Nov is 9 and October is 8. as opposed to.
Yeah.
But if this was like even before then, you know, before we had, so we were 12 months in a year then, or like way before
You know
all that.
what? I have heard that before about like we used to have 10 months and they added Libra in after and things like that. But I don't know. Like I don't know how true that is. But like, see, the thing is, what people don't get, like Libra's not really about a month, for example. Libra is about when the sun is at the equator.
Mm.
So he's talking about balance, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So it's not necessarily based on a month, it's based upon where the sun is on its journey. It's in the middle of its journey.
Mm.
So that's why it's Libra then, if that makes sense. So another thing that people...
oh, something's going on there.
It's not on this end.
Check your connection, bro.
Yeah, you're sort
is
of
based on, like... Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're like cutting
right
in and
now.
out a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, it was cutting in and out a bit, yeah. But basically, each 30 degrees of each sign gives a particular energy, and they assigned particular animals to that particular energy. So, for example, the first sign is related to Aries because it's about springing. It's the first day of spring. So that fiery energy relates to a ram, the energy of a ram. So then that's why they give it the ram. And then the second 30 degrees is a bit more earthier and a bit more calmer after the initial explosion of the ram. So then that's why it's then an earth sign, a bit more grounded. So they use the Taurus, basically. So that's why they assign particular signs to particular parts of the year, because those energies of those animals mimicked that time of the year, if that makes sense. I hope I made that clear.
Yeah. I'm wondering, how long did it take them to notice these
Do you know
characteristics?
That's a really good point, because in different cultures, they have like different animals, but at the same time, like I remember reading that in the Vedic cosmology, that Capricorn was actually an alligator or a crocodile.
Oh, wow. Capricorn.
But that's interesting because both the sea goat and the crocodile were related to the water element and earth. So I don't know, but like, and also I heard that Gemini, I think, was it in the Persian culture? But don't quote me, I'm not too sure. But I remember hearing that Gemini used to be two twin peacocks, for example, in a different system.
What, not like a two-headed peacock?
Or something along those lines. I can't remember, but I remember it being something about two peacocks. So it's just, I don't know. I think the current zodiac we use is based more on, like, it comes from the Greek, the ancient Greek period, basically. But I think the science of astrology, I don't know, like, it's hard to say. I mean, it's just one of them things where, like, how old is the Earth, or has the Earth always been here and it just keeps going? And it's like, with questions like that, it's kind of hard to answer. But I don't know, man, like how I'd be lying if I said I knew, if that makes sense.
How on point do you think, so like with obviously like with zodiac signs and that, a lot of us don't really believe in it because of what they put out there in the newspapers is just like a little paragraph, and it's like mad, just broad. It could be for anyone, and you read it and you're like, no, that doesn't really work for me. So, but how it really works is with your birth chart, right? Like you need like the time of day you were born.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, that's right. So I'll give you an example of my birth chart, for example, right? My son was in Scorpio, so I'd be technically like a Scorpio.
Technically.
But you've got to take into consideration that there's 9 other planets. So they're all dotted over all in different signs. So you're not just a Scorpio, you're all of them to a degree, but you're more of what, like, for example, I have 5 planets in Sagittarius in my chart. So I've got more Sagittarian energy than I actually have Scorpio.
What does that mean when you say you've got that in your chart? Like what?
So when I was born, right? I'll just run you through it.
The
So when I was
time.
born,
Yeah, okay.
the sun was in the sign of Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto was in the sign of Scorpio, and Saturn was in the sign of Scorpio. So I have 3 of the 10 planets in Scorpio. So that would give me a lot of Scorpion energy.
Because you're in some that form a way related to each planet and where it is at that time.
No, because 3 of those planets was in that sign when I was born.
Okay.
So, but also when the time I was born, you had Mercury, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, and the South Node all in Sagittarius. So at that moment when I was born, there was a lot of planets in Sagittarius, so that would give me a lot of Sagittarian energy as well. But it's not just based on you being Aquarius or you being a Scorpio. And then you got to take into consideration where the moon was where you was born, because that deals with how you react, your emotional self. So each planet is a different side of yourself. So the sun is how you express yourself. The moon is your emotions. Mercury is your communication. Libra is your Venus is your pleasures. Mars is how you take action. Jupiter is your morality, and Saturn is your discipline and structure. So depending on where they are, it's like mathematics. So my Saturn's in Scorpio. So what you then do is you mix them 2 energies together, and it combines a unique energy. So then
it's like crossing 2 strains, 2 new strains.
Sorry?
It's like crossing 2 new strains together, and then you get a new bit of bud.
Basically.
Yeah, I get that.
The way I would deal with my discipline is in a Scorpion mind state, basically. So my moon is in Taurus. So I handle my emotions in a very Taurian way, which is very earthy and to do with like material things. So then once you know what your constitution is, you can see where you have particular energies based in your body and in your mental state, in everything.
Jeez, bruv. So it sounds like a lot. Like when you go, obviously, the more you do it, the more you get into it, the more you understand it all.
Yeah, of
and
course.
so what I was going to ask was like, how accurate do you find it then? When
it is like I've like read a lot of my like cousins' charts and stuff like that, and when I like start reading it, I start cracking up because like I was like, oh my god, like that's so true. But also I've read charts for people like, at work and stuff like that, and I always say to them, please be honest with me. Like, if it's not accurate, just say no, it's not. Because obviously, although I know all this stuff, I'm still learning about it as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
You never stop learning.
I don't know it all. It's always trial and error, if that makes sense. But like, I would say it depends on. I would say it's very accurate once you start looking at people, the way they act, and their little habits, and you think, oh my god, that is such a Scorpion thing to do, or that is such a this thing to do. Yeah. Basically, what they are is they're 12 different. Like, astrology is just natural psychology. It's just about each one of these
natural
signs
psychology.
Are just different mind states. Basically, so they all have a motto as well. For example, Aries, they all got like one-liner. So Aries is I am, Taurus is I have, Gemini is I think, Cancer is I feel, Leo is I create, Virgo is I analyze, Libra is I balance, Scorpio is I desire, Sagittarius is I see, Capricorn is I build, Aquarius is I know, and Pisces is I believe. Aquarius is all the know-it-alls.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me, boy. I know I don't know it all, but I like to. It's like we like to teach. We like to share. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
because
Aquarians.
that's what you see the
Jeez,
symbol
that
of
was
the guy
deep,
pouring the
bro.
water in Aquarius. You see it's the water
Water
bearer,
bearer,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. John the
Yeah. So
Baptist.
what that's a symbol of is pouring the spiritual waters or knowledge onto people. That's what it's a symbol of. But it's also a symbol of the winter rains, like penetrating the earth to like for spring and for all the flowers to grow. So it's got like two meanings, if that makes sense.
Wow.
But like Aquarius is ruled by Saturn
Yeah,
and the planet's Uranus.
yeah.
So they're very think outside the box people, can also be seen as rebellious, have a lot of wisdom. They've also, I've noticed, like a lot of like Capricorns and Aquarius. Saturn, each planet has a humor. So Saturn is cold and dry. So a lot of Aquarians and Capricorns have a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor. That makes sense. So, and again, that's why knowing the humours of the planets, if that makes sense. So it goes very deep, but it's just I don't want to go too.
Nah, man, bruv, I'm enjoying it. Cause yeah, I mean, everything you're saying, I'm like, yo, people are gonna crack up hearing that. Cause yeah, I'm Aquarius, and you basically just reeled off.
But obviously, I don't know your full chart. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's probably so much more to it than just me going by your sun sign, because that's like 1/10 of the whole chart. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure, man. Bruv, man, you're going in deep. I advise people to go check out Conscious Minds TV. That's Mem's his own YouTube channel. And he does podcasts as well. Is it what, every week, or what are you doing it like?
No, I just do it
whenever you feel like.
Yeah, just when I get guests or... Yeah, I haven't done none recently, but yeah, I've got loads on there. I've got stuff on like astrology, I've got stuff on medical astrology, I've got stuff on herbalism, I've got stuff on the pyramids, I've got stuff on like different shapes of the earth, flat earth, I've got stuff, all sorts of stuff. I'm not like
flat earth, baby.
Yeah, I just whatever I find interesting and someone wants to talk about, I'll do a show about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nicole, you'll have to rewind that for the Capricorn, man. That was some knowledge right there. I can't believe you missed that.
About what was when you were saying that I create and all this stuff. What was the Capricorn one?
Oh, I build.
That's
why it's a mountain goat, because the mountain goat climbing the mountain is about building, because like I said, that's the same time as Christmas, because the mountain goat climbing symbolizes the sun climbing back up, because it's at its lowest point.
Drop the wheel again, because I feel like I spoke over some of it. That's why you probably missed the word. So drop the wheel again.
The one-liners for
yeah. Let's hear that again.
Yeah. Aries is I am, and I'll explain to you why it's I am as well. Because Aries is the head and it's the face. So this is what kind of identifies who you are. Do you get what I'm saying?
Aries, the ram.
So that's why it's I am, because
I am.
Aries is the head and your face, and that's how you identify yourself. But anyway, I'll go through them quickly. So Aries is I am. Taurus is I have. Gemini is I think. Cancer is I feel. Leo is I create. Virgo is I analyze. Libra is I balance. Scorpio is I desire. Sagittarius is I see. Capricorn is I build. Aquarius is I know. And Pisces is I believe.
So gems
like
there.
12 one-liners for each sign, if that makes sense.
And that, it's like a generalized kind of phrase for...
Generalized.
It makes sense, man. Sagittarius, I see, and Sagittarius is like, looking, he's always like, all right, let me see if I can...
Basically, I'll expand on that. The Sagittarius, the reason why it's half man and half animal is because that man is bursting out of its animal nature. Because Sagittarius is about the sign of philosophy and higher wisdom and dreams and like religion. So the reason why it's half man and half horse is because the man is coming out of its animal nature to become more godly, so to speak. So that's what the symbol is about.
That's crazy. And then the thing about Scorpio as well is like Scorpio is more than just the scorpion, right? It's more than just one animal.
Yeah, it's 3 animals. It's the snake, the eagle, and the scorpion. Basically, the eagle being because Scorpio is ruled by the planet Mars, which is the planet of war.
Marshall.
So that's why they've got the eagle there, if that makes sense. And the serpent is to do with, have you heard of a fucus?
A fucus? No.
Yeah. Is that the serpent, yeah?
Yeah, the snake bearer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also next to it's one of the deacons of Scorpio. A deacon, let me explain what a deacon is that each sign is split into 3 sections. They all have, so like you've got 3 different types of Scorpio. See, this is where it gets deeper, like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, the Trinity, this is that Trinity
It's very
shit.
intricate, like, it's quite a lot to
digest.
Sometimes even me, like, there's so much information, sometimes I forget it.
Yeah,
but once I like brush up on it, it kind of comes back to me, if that makes sense. So yeah, like
you're saying there's the deacon, there's
there's deacons. There's 3 deacons in each sign, basically.
There's 3 deacons in each sign, and so those 3 deacons they're obviously the variations on what type of that sign you could be.
Yeah, exactly. One is like beginning, middle, and end. Like, also in astrology, you have 3. There's 4 elements. So you've got fire, earth, air, and water. But there's each element has 3 different modes, which is cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So that would like correlate to beginning, middle, and end, for example.
Yeah, cardinal.
And mutable. So,
fixed
for example,
is like that's you. I ain't moving, bruv. Man, I ain't doing nothing else. Yeah, that's Aquarius.
Yeah, that's me and you.
Yeah.
Scorpio's a fixed sign, and so is Aquarius.
Yeah.
But we're just different elements.
Leo.
Yours is air, and mine is water. So so each element has 3 different modes. So, for example, fire. The cardinal fire is Aries, fixed fire is Leo, and mutable fire is Sagittarius. So they're all similar that they're fire, but they're different modes of fire. So they're different in that way as well.
Deep. And wow, so wait there. Yeah, so that's why you might know 2, say Scorpios, but they're similar in some ways, but not in every single way. It's like,
like,
and hence
it depends on your chart, basically, and also which houses and it goes, because
the houses as well.
Yeah,
what's the deal with the houses?
Of life.
Areas of life.
Yeah.
So for people, break down the house for people who don't know. So we've already got like the actual zodiac signs, and that some of them are fixed and some of them are mutable, some of them are cardinal.
Yeah.
And
but
then
also what you've got is that wheel is constantly turning. So, for example, I was born at 8:30 p.m. Right? So the sun was in the 5th house. But if I was born 12 hours earlier, it would have been in the 11th house. So that's a total different area of life. So each house symbolizes. So I'll go through that as well. It's pretty similar to the mottos.
Okay.
So the first house is about your personality and who you are and how you look. The second house is about your possessions and your money and what you value. The third house is how you communicate with people and your brothers and sisters. The 4th house is about your home and your heritage. The 5th house is about love, romance, creativity. The 6th house is about your health. The 7th house is about your partnerships. The 8th house is about your sexual life. The 9th house is about your spiritual life. The 10th house is about your public and career life. The 11th house is about your friends. The 12th house is about your subconscious and your deeper kind of personality. So, for example, if you've got 5 planets in the 10th house, that will tell me that you'll be a very career-orientated person, because the 10th house is about your career. Whereas if you've got loads of planets in your 3rd house, which is about communication, you'll be a good communicator, for example. So depending on which houses they're in, again, you can see like where all your energy's focused. Like for me, mine is all in the 5th house, which is all about creativity, being artistic. So that's what like a lot of my energy is based on. But whereas my moon is based in the 11th house, which is about friendships and social circles. So that means I have a lot of emotional attachments to my social circles and my friends. But whereas if my moon was in, for example, the 7th house, it would be about like my emotions would be with my partnerships and my relationships. So again, it just depends on where everything's placed. That's why no 2 people can be the same.
Yeah, because unless you're born exactly the same time type thing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Another thing, because that wheel moves.
That is crazy,
the
man.
wheel moves every 4 minutes. It moves. So if I was born 4 minutes later or earlier, it will be a slightly different. Because every single second is unique, basically.
Yeah. And so what? Because I'm even thinking, does that mean that they'll never ever, unless that happens, like people born at the same time on the same day?
But again,
personalities will always be different. Like everyone's personality is always going to have some form of variation to it.
Yeah, of course, as well, because you have to remember, like, you're born in different parts of the world as well. So that makes a difference. And also, like, obviously, your upbringing does play a part in this, because what I'm saying is, like, for me, for example, like, growing up, I was never confident enough to, like, do my own shows and I was, like, a really shy person, for example. But then when I came into who I really was and I checked my chart, who I am now actually matches with my chart. But who I was before wasn't really who I was, because I was molded that way by society. Does that make sense? So when you look at your chart and you see where you have skills or where you need to brush up on, then that's like you get to know yourself better, and you think, okay, like for me, for example, like I don't have a lot of Earth placements in my chart. Like I've got 1 planet in 1 Earth sign. Like most of my planets are in all fire signs or all water signs. So that shows me that I need to be a bit more grounded, because I don't have a lot of Earth energy in my chart.
So you can feel ungrounded.
So then you can like work on that by looking at your chart, if that makes sense.
Do you know what? This shit sounds like you could, you know, if you knew it well enough and understood it deep enough, like you could actually work on psychology. You could help people.
Yeah, you can. You can. Trust me, bro. It's like
psychological problems.
If you notice as well, like every time there's a full moon, people start acting crazy, bruv. But they don't know that because they're not aware of it.
They start howling and shit.
Yeah.
Walking on all fours, boy. Just cocking up their leg, peeing left, right, and centre.
But yeah, man, like there's so many levels to it. Like there's medical astrology, like for example, like so you could have like, just say you had Saturn in Taurus, right? Taurus is your throat, and Saturn is cold and dry. The humour of Saturn is cold and dry. So that would maybe give you a dry throat, for example. So the way you would counterbalance that would be having something opposite, which would be hot. So again, like you can work astrology in that way as well. Like there's so many levels to it, bro. I could like I said, I could go on and on. But
it's amazing, man.
If you want to get more into like the more occult stuff, or just go with the flow. I don't mind, man.
Yeah, man. Now I'm loving the flow. Hey, you lot, drop some emojis or whatever you feel like, man. If you're enjoying this, because boy, I'm definitely loving this, man. It's getting into some deep level of thinking as well, because like like you're saying, there's medical astrology, and then it sounds like there's like psychiatric astrology or psychological astrology.
Different. There's like horary astrology. There's astrology like based on like even like you see like the stock market and all that. It's all based on astrology, like
how do you mean?
Well, like when they go up and when they go down, like with the seasons. And I haven't looked too deeply into that, but I am aware of it. Do you get what I mean? Or like there's loads of things, man.
Some of the stock exchange is based on just blatant manipulation of stock as well.
Yeah, blatantly, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, so what you're saying, like, ritualistically, they manipulate.
It's supposed to follow like natural patterns of some kind, isn't it? The stock exchange.
But they do like what you said, like with rituals as well. Like See, this is what the elites use astrology for. They use it very ritualistically
to plan when they're going to dump something.
Yeah, like I showed in Santos video, like how religions use it, but like an example, the one I checked up recently was the wedding of Diana and Prince Charles.
Yeah.
And I checked the chart on the day they got married, and there was like a lot of interesting stuff that I found in it, basically. Like, I don't know, do you know the royal symbol of the unicorn and the lion? Have you seen that symbol?
Regentology, man.
Yeah.
So break that down for us, bruv, because...
Yeah, so basically...
I might have been wrong.
The unicorn is the moon, which is white, and the lion is the sun. So that symbol is just about, like, male, female, gold, silver. It's just about balance, basically.
Duality or...
Sorry?
Duality in any way?
Yeah, duality, yeah, all the polarities, basically. So, and also, the moon rules Cancer, and the sun, so the moon is feminine, obviously, and rules Cancer, the unicorn, and the lion is the sun, Leo, masculine. So when on, like, Prince Charles and Diana's wedding, the sun was in Leo, and the moon was in Cancer, respectively, where they both rule.
Wow.
And that is their symbol. That is the royal symbol as well. I mean, I don't know. It could be a coincidence, but personally, I doubt it. And it was also right before, it was on the same, just before an eclipse as well. So they plan, like, little things like this, and, yeah, there's loads. What other ones? Yeah, things like, I think the moon was in Gemini when the Twin Towers was knocked down. Someone else has done a video.
The moon was in Gemini. Jeez, two pillars. Yeah, there's other, I can't think of any others off the top of my head at the moment, but a lot of them are basically based on religious festivals, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Like, for example, in Islam, when they sacrifice goats, they always do that when the moon is in Capricorn, which is the sacrificial goat. Ramadan, the most holy day of Ramadan, which is called Qadir night, is celebrated when the moon is in Aries, the ram. So Ramadan is based on Aries, the ram.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's Ramadan in the name as well.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, what other ones in Islam? You've got like their first month, which is called Muharram, which means purity, is when the moon is in Virgo, the Virgin.
Purity, okay.
So, like, you see how the celebrations connect with the sign that the moon is in at that particular time. Do you get what I'm saying? So
that's the sense of how they worship the moon then, because it's where the moon is. Ah, wow.
Yeah. So and another thing is with the Islamic celebrations is like, so just say there was a celebration today, which is the 22nd.
Mm.
The following year, their celebrations never fall on the same day. It takes 33 years for it to fall back on the same day.
33.
Because they go by a moon cycle.
Mm.
The moon cycle is 355 days and not 365 days. So the following year, it goes back 10 days every year.
Mm.
But for it to come back around the full cycle to the same day, it takes 33 years, which is the magic number in Freemasonry, the 33 degrees, or the 33 vertebrae in your spinal column.
Yeah.
That's a very holy number in religion and occultism. So it's so many. It's endless, man. It's endless.
So going back to the crest, like the crown and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like I thought that what I read was that the unicorn represented Capricorn. So the goat, because you could find goats that had one horn.
Right.
And all that.
I don't know. There might be, but where I found my information was from. Do you know who Michael Tazarian is?
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very another well-renowned researcher. He explained about how the unicorn was the moon and the lion was the sun. And then I went and looked up unicorn relation to Cancer, and there is a deacon in Cancer that relates to the unicorn.
Wow. And then, when you're getting information, because there's so much of it, and obviously because it's occult information, how do you know? Do you have to corroborate it with a next piece of material, and then you hear from here, and then look at this? How do you know when it's okay? Yeah, this seems like it makes sense.
Feeling inside you, it's it's like an aha moment, I suppose. I don't know,
aha.
Like when I discovered the whole Islam thing, it was I don't know. It was just purely for. Let me just check where the moon is, because I thought I know that they go by the moon. I said it'll be ironic if it's in Capricorn, for example, when I checked that day, and it was. And I went back and I checked back 10 years forward and 10 years back, and when the sacrifice in the goat celebration, which is the last month of the Islamic lunar calendar. When that happens, the moon is always in Capricorn, and I've showed it in the video. I've got a whole video on it on my channel.
Yeah, check out his channel, man. Make sure,
and
man.
Also,
Conscious
another
Minds
thing
TV.
is, basically, when particular planets are in particular signs, some are strong and some are weak. So, for example, the moon in Cancer is a good placement because the moon rules in Cancer. But when the moon is opposite the sign it rules, it's in a weak place.
Yeah,
so the moon in Capricorn is also a weak placement. So it gives people very materialistic tendencies, if that makes sense. Because Capricorn is an earth sign. So it's knowing the elements as well of each sign. Like Aquarius is an air sign.
Jeez. Yeah.
Sagittarius is a fire sign. Pisces is a water sign. So it's knowing. It's like maths, but spiritual maths. If that makes sense, it's weird.
Nah, it makes sense. That makes sense, man. But can you break down Sagittarius?
Sagittarius. Okay, so Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. It's the 9th sign, and it's to do with, like I said, spirituality, philosophy, higher wisdom, dreams. Sagittarius people, they're very outgoing, enthusiastic. In the brief, it's ruled by the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the archetype of Jesus. You know how I was saying this, they're enthusiastic, because obviously Sagittarius is the month leading up to Christmas.
Yeah.
Because Capricorn is Christmas, but leading up to Christmas would be Sagittarius. And obviously, like I said, they're enthusiastic and they're jovial. So that's why you get the songs like "Here's the Season to Be Jolly," la la la. You know, like all these type of songs.
Do you know
They're
what's
based
deep?
on the energies like leading up to Christmas, which is a Sagittarian energy.
It's deep because Sagittarius, yeah, and it's like in anatomy, you've got the sagittal plane, which is looking forward, and then you're
Okay.
saying like, you know, they always, and then what do you say? You say, yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas, or I'm looking forward to blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like even in our language, we use, you know, the tendencies
Like
of.
our language is a whole nother language, and also like
Deep.
yes, Sagittarius in the body is ruled by the hips, like the thighs.
Mm.
Basically, that's the part of the body it rules.
The thighs, baby. So if you got them moves like Jagger, you know what I mean? The old dancehall queen, boy. Yo, so all right, what else was it? There was something else I wanted to ask you, man, but you gone so deep, bruv, man. Make some noise for Mehmet, because boy, jeez. You going in, bruv. All right.
Yeah, anything you want to talk about, bro? If you like the theology side of things, or like whatever language, like
What-
anything.
In terms of the theology sort of stuff, what's been the most for you? Like, I've had a moment, but for you, what's been the most where you can remember being like, what? Like, you just found out something that.
I guess the Islam stuff I found out recently.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
recently.
that really like sparked a whole new like rabbit hole, if that makes sense. And like, and I'm not trying to say I'm the one that's like a lot of other people have done stuff on it, but it's not been like, bro. You know how many Muslim people reached out to me after I did that show with Santos? They're like, "Wow, this is so amazing!
Yeah.
I never knew this stuff. It makes so much sense. Like, we've never been taught any of this stuff, and blah blah blah." So, like, it's good just to like open people's eyes up to like a few things. And I'm not, and again, by me like giving this information out, I'm not trying to debunk Islam. I'm actually adding to it. Like, I'm showing people why they do particular things. You get what I'm saying? I'm not debunking it or trying to say, oh, it's corrupt and they're not telling. Well, which is a part of it. Yes, it is. But that's with all religions. You have like the spiritual side of a religion, and then you have like the mainstream side of the religion. So, for example, the spiritual Christians were the Gnostics, and then the spiritual Muslims are the Sufis. So you got different sects, if that makes sense. So like the more spiritual side of Christianity and Islam do use the zodiac and understand it, whereas in the mainstream version they don't want you to understand it, because they, in a nice way, they want to keep you dumbed down because they're just businesses. But the mainstream version of like all religions are just businesses. And again, if anyone watching this is religious, I'm not like saying that to be horrible, and it's just a fact, like because they're all registered with the government. Because if you're a true spiritual religion, you don't need to be registered with the government.
Yeah, you wouldn't be really either, because that's what it's about.
So like, yeah, it's just unfortunately the ones that we're given are kind of like, I don't know, you could say the nursery version of it or the infant version of it, whereas the spiritual ones are like the secondary or the college like it's a next level up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Latrell just said it. He said eso and exoteric.
Yeah,
more
exactly.
or less that, right? So you got the exoteric, which is what everyone sees. That's on the, you know, on the outside, and then the esoteric knowledge. And yeah, man, that's what you. So you, I think another thing is that, whether it's been a thing of like people have been dumbed down, like we say, we talk about how they took certain curriculums out of schools to make sure we don't know how to think, we just know what to think. And so because of that, do you think it would be quite hard for people to even get into this sort of stuff and really I feel like once you learn it, you understand yourself a lot more, like you just said earlier. And so do you think it would be hard for people to get into it
I just think it all depends on the person and how open-minded they are to challenge their own beliefs. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like a lot of it is to do with your ego, I think, because like you don't want to be. A lot of people don't like to believe they've been fooled. It's hard to take, which I understand that. Like if you've been told something all your life and you realise it's a lie, you feel a bit like heartbroken, or you won't feel good. I get that. So I just think it's all to do with dropping your ego and just kind of being honest with yourself and looking at it that way. Like, do you get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, most religious people, I like them because I know that in their heart, whether they're being fooled or not, their intentions are good. They just want to be good people and do something good. Do you get what I'm saying? But a lot of them don't realise that they're being played at the same time. But again, look, I can't judge no one, because before I got into my knowledge, I was ignorant as well, and I still am ignorant. Like, I've got loads. We can always learn so much. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
you never stop.
it's not about judging people. It's just about showing things like there's a saying, there's many roads that lead to the same path, if that makes sense.
Unplugged.
Oh, you've got your headphones unplugged.
Yeah.
Sorry, my headphones have just come unplugged.
I know.
That's all right.
Yeah, sorry, man.
He got so excited, he pulled his own plug out. Any questions from anyone in the chat?
Yeah, man.
For
I know you got
anyone
some
got
questions
any
from you in the chat, boy.
Mr. Green, I
got
remember that
bare
Dead Prez
questions.
said we want to take religion back to
We live in.
Religion we live in, yeah.
Yeah, bars. That's a bar right there. So yeah, what was I gonna ask you, man? There was something you said just then. Oh yeah. So which do you think has been the most sort of corrupted then? Out of the
Which
religion?
has been the most corrupted?
Yeah.
Well, out of all the religions,
Yeah.
all of them.
Oh,
They've all been corrupted, because basically another thing I forgot to mention, which ties into astrology, is you have like different ages. So you have like you have the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age.
What about the Sauce Age?
Sorry?
The Sauce Age. Sausage? You don't like sausage?
Oh, yeah.
So wait, who came up with these ages?
Well, basically, it comes from like the Vedic. You got the Kali Yuga, the Satya Yuga. I can't remember the exact orders for their one, but I know it comes from their philosophy. So basically, they say that when humanity is in the Golden Age, they have 100% consciousness. When they're in the Silver Age, they have 75% consciousness. When they're in the Bronze Age, they have 50% consciousness. And when they're in the Iron Age, they have 25% consciousness. So we've been in the Iron Age for like 6,000 years. So we're now like working our way back up, if that makes sense.
Oh, right.
So they say this is why a lot of people are awakening, because there's a shift in consciousness in the universe, basically. And this is all to do with like astrology as well. It's like each age is 6,000 years, and like you have something called a great year, which is like, some say it's 24,000. The Indians say it's 24,000 years, but in the Western, it's 25,900 years. But it's roughly 24 to 25,000 years. That's called a great year, and that's also split into 4 seasons. And that's like the Golden, Silver, Bronze, and Iron Age. And we've been in the Iron Age for 6,000 years, but we're going out of it now. So basically, that means our consciousness is the lowest consciousness that humanity can have, basically.
Oh, well, that's where we've been.
Yeah, that's where we've been for the last 6,000 years.
What, through all Einstein? Who else? Who's the other brainy mother lovers out there? Do you know what I mean? Franklin, You know, with all the all this technology, everything that we've done, we've been at the lowest level of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, people get gassed thinking like,
deep,
oh, we're
man.
so advanced and all this, and
Henry
trust me,
Ford.
bro. Like that goes back to like the history and how accurate is the history that we're told that everyone was stupid back in the day, but they built all these amazing architectures and carved in like really in detail, like, but they were dumb. I don't know how that was, unless it was the aliens, but I'm not going to go down there because I don't really like.
Darwin,
I'm not really into
man said
all that.
Darwin, Da Vinci. It's true, like all these Shakespeare,
Yeah,
all
like,
these people.
They were all like very like clever people, like, and
But
yeah, I don't know. Again, it's one of them ones where it's hard to prove and it's hard to disprove because we wasn't there. So
yeah, that's
just you got to go with what we've got now. Like, but yeah, man, it's just being open-minded, and I don't know. I guess it's just, another thing I've realised, bro. It's just like some people are meant to get it and connect with it, and some people ain't.
Yeah.
And that's fine. There's no right and wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
well, there can't be, because like we were talking about, everyone's different, and depending on where everything, the planets are at the time you took your first breath, you just might not. It might be stuff where you're like, look, I'm just not into that, and then you look at their birth chart, you're like, oh yeah, shit, I could see you would be into this. No wonder.
So it's like
deep,
that's another thing that I've come to like realize as I've going through this journey is like, like when you first start on it, you want to start preaching to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, they're lying to us, and oh, look at this.
Yeah, that was me, boy, with the germ theory.
Yeah,
I was
same
like,
with
yo.
me. But like now, I've realised, you know what? Not everyone's ready for that information, or not everyone wants to hear it. So, fair play to them. Like, we're all at different stages of our personal journey. So, like, it's no judgment on people that don't get it or don't believe the way I think, because at the same time, I wouldn't want someone to try and brainwash me with their views. So I understand that people might not want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I realise it works both ways.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, when you realise certain truths and you realise, fucking hell, man, they're having us on so bad. And you can so blatantly see it and the other person can't.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But again, that's where you got to try and be disciplined and try and be calm and understanding of other people.
Yeah, that's where your fixed fire comes in now.
Yeah, it's like I get like so frustrated, like, because like I'm quite the way I am. Sometimes I see a lot of like child energy in me. I'm quite enthusiastic. I want to like tell people and stuff, but then like sometimes people got problems. They got their own personal shit going on. They don't want to sit there and listen to deep shit.
Nah,
So,
yeah. I know exactly what you mean, man.
It just depends, man. It just depends.
Yeah, but the good thing is, like, there are people out there you can chat like that with. That's what we try to do here. Is like, people know you come here. It's like open-minded. We're not really trying to just stick to the same old, because that you're always getting that anyway. Do you know what I mean? We'd rather give you some shit you might never know nothing about.
Yeah, man. Your vibe attracts your tribe at the end of the day. So, like, if we didn't have this mutual interest, we wouldn't be talking now. So, like, you will always find your people that you connect with at the end of the day. Like, I have so many friends from all around the world that I've had hours conversations, friends from Holland, friends from California, friends from New York, friends from Canada. Just I've connected with so many amazing people through this journey. It's been amazing.
Have there been any people upset, like with what you're saying about the Islamic stuff that you've been discovering? Like, have any people been like, "Oh, you're trying to discredit it"?
Do you know what, bro? That's what I was kind of dreading. But to be fair, I haven't got none of that. Like, it's been all good. Like, it's been all good. Like, all the people that message me are all Muslim, and they've been saying, "Oh, this is so interesting," and like, so I'm like really happy about that because that's what my aim was. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not a confrontational person. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, if I want to help people, I don't want to piss people off. Do you get what I mean? So yeah.
So what do you feel like? Okay, so you know, it's sort of worshipping the moon. Islam say worshipping the moon. Is that right? Or
to a degree they are. I don't think they realise they are. I don't know if they're worshipping it or just. Well, what I read in a book actually is the reason why they worship the moon over the sun is because the moon represents the mother, and they say that the mother is more superior to the sun, which is the child. So that's why they follow the moon. That's what I read in a book called Monotheism.
Monotheism, wow.
But
Monotheism.
also, I would say that it's in the olden days, maybe when they didn't have, if they didn't have technology, it would be easier to follow the moon to tell what part, because the moon is what determines what part of the month it is. Because a new moon is a new month and a full moon is half the month. So by them following the moon, I guess they could determine what time of the month it was. Do you get what I'm saying? And hence the word month comes from moon. It's moon.
Moon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, I guess it was just maybe their way of looking at it from that way, or like I said, it could be that just Islam, Christianity and Judaism are different sects, and they just, this is the moon cult of it, this is the sun cult of it, and this is the Saturn cult of it, and they just broke it all up to cause division. I don't know, like there's different kind of possibilities, but I know that they go by the moon just because they say they go by the moon, and all their celebrations are based on the moon.
All right, so we got a couple questions, innit, V?
Yep.
Mem, you're getting in, bruv. DVG right here. Jeez. You're dropping some gems, bruv. We got a few questions.
Yeah.
All right, so... Okay, let me read it off here because it'll probably be easier. All right.
Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, ask him what he knows about mass consciousness.
What do I know about what?
Mass consciousness.
Mass consciousness.
Consciousness. I hope I'm saying that right. Consciousness. It feels weird when you say it. Mass consciousness. Yeah.
I've never heard the term mass consciousness, but obviously the word consciousness just means awareness, being conscious.
Yeah, I guess he's talking about, like, you know, that sort of web of, you know, there's that everyone tunes into some kind of frequency and we're all conscious on the same level, maybe. I don't know. I'm
not sure what it means by mass consciousness, so I don't want to answer it because I might be giving the wrong answer.
Yeah, you have to break that down, Mr. Green. What do you mean about mass consciousness? Mass conscious. Use your conscience.
People connecting across the world.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Do you have like a spiritual web? Where, you know, there's these things where people do these like mass consciousness days where, like, for a whole day, loads of people all focus on the same thing or something.
Right.
The collective unconscious,
I know
but
what
I
you're
guess this is
talking about.
conscious.
What do I think of that? Is that what the question is?
Yeah. What do you know about that?
Well, I guess that would be like what religious festivals are. Because that's what the whole point of them is, to create. Even like when you go to football matches, you're creating a particular frequency, aren't you, by all the people in... Because sound is creation, ultimately, because everything is created by sound. So, yeah, and hence the words, you know, like abracadabra, I speak what I create. So, yeah, I guess that they work in that way, but it's not something I've really thought about, if I'm being totally honest.
It's a good point you made about religious festivals, because they are meant to, I mean, particularly in like Islam and Judaism. Christianity is a bit different, but they do coordinate across time zones with like the beginning of a festival, that it starts when the moon is first seen in the sky or whatever it is, or you know, when the sun sets or something. So they've got these ways of coordinating the festivals, so that like as that event happens all around the world, all of those people start tuning into it. So exactly.
Yeah, that's a very good
I
point,
think
man.
Islam is to do with the sun and moon at Mecca, is it, or something? Is that when it's all set?
Sorry?
The prayers, the daily prayers in Islam.
Oh, it's the five prayers.
Yeah, so they're set at the time that the sun is, or the sun or moon is present in Mecca or something, isn't it? Is that right?
Oh, from my understanding, the 5 prayers, one is based on sunrise,
right?
Just before sunrise, and then one after sunrise, one at midday, one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's 4, and then one just before sunset. Basically,
right.
They're the 5 times that they do the prayers, from my understanding.
And that's all set by the time at Mecca.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's all based on the sun, where it is, like what time of day it is, because I know that their noon prayer is not directly at noon, because the sun is really hot at noon, and it symbolizes like a hellish kind of frequency. So they do it just after noon, when the sun's kind of cooled down a bit. I know I've read that.
It's just sometimes they seem to be going to mosque like in the middle of the night. So to me it feels like that. It might be that the sun is that's why I'm presuming it's to do with the sunrise at Mecca, because it's like 3 hours ahead or something.
Exactly.
So sometimes they seem to be going to mosque at like 4 in the morning.
Yes, I totally get you, for sure. It could be possible, I don't know.
And so in that way, they would all be coordinated. They would all be praying at exactly the same time. No matter where you are, you're facing the same direction,
putting the
and
same
you're all
energy
putting the same energy out.
into the is it the cube?
Sure.
Wow, man, that's deep. And imagine that. Like someone mentioned earlier. Mr. Green says in rap, for instance. And he got me thinking, just that little sentence there had me thinking about like the fact that, you know, people, even a DJ has everyone just standing there. If you turned off the music, imagine there weren't no music playing and you looked at some kind of rave, some, you know what I mean, mad trance rave or whatever, and everyone's facing the DJ and all their energy is going to that person, almost like they're a deity, you know, like they're worshipping someone. And it's like, rah. You get that on so many different levels. So I could see how it's almost embedded in our way of living. You know what I mean? Like energy's always being put across towards something in some form of way,
like when you're on a train at rush hour, it's horrible because you're taking in just loads of friction. You're taking in all the other people's energies. But when it's a nice, calm train, you feel more relaxed. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just same kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I guess that leads in then to what Mr. Green was saying about collective consciousness. It leads into this whole thing of synchronicity.
Yeah.
That you've been involved in now and started lecturing for the Syncretism Society.
Yeah, man.
Is that correct? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so basically, what happened was, obviously, you saw the show I did with Santos Bonacci on Islam and astrotheology. So, but since then, I found out new information, and I messaged him and just said, "Oh, do you want to do like part 2?" Like, and he's like, "Yeah." And while I was talking to him, he's just like, "Look, I'm opening this virtual academy, and I want you to be one of the instructors / teachers on there. Like, would you be up for it?" And I was like, "Wow!" I was like quite honoured, because he's someone I kind of look up to, and who I've learnt a lot of my info from, and like for him to kind of recognise that in me, like I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty gassed.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I agreed to it, and it's been like 3 weeks, I think now, since I've been doing it. I've released 5 lessons on the academy so far.
Jeez.
One was how the zodiac and the number 6, and how the number 6 rules the zodiac. The second lesson I did was understanding the basics of energy. The third lesson I did was, what was the third lesson? I was on the platonic solids. And then the fourth lesson I did was understanding the sine wave, which is like the seasons and all that. And then I just uploaded my latest lesson, which was about gematria, which is about connecting numbers and letters, and how when you connect them, they have connections, and understanding deeper esoteric meaning of letters and numbers and words, and which words are interchangeable. So, yeah, I'm been getting some really good feedback from the subscribers as well. They've been inboxing me, and I'm really chuffed, man. Like, it's good when you, it's good to be a part of it, but when people appreciate it, it makes it much more worthwhile, if that makes sense.
Yeah, what's it called? Syncretismsociety.com, right?
Syncretismsociety.com, and like they've got a YouTube channel as well, and they're also on Instagram, so you can check all the updates from going either to the YouTube channel or directly to the website, where you can only get the content if you pay and subscribe, but you can still like chat in the forums and that even if you don't subscribe.
And so if someone was asked what is syncretism, what should they say?
Yeah, syncretism is unifying all fields of knowledge and showing that they have one common source, basically. Syncing stuff together. So, like, for example, like before we got on air, I showed you how A connects to 1 and B connects to 2, and how, like, the 7 chakras, for example, the 7 energies within our body are representations of the 7 planets. So the 7 planets of the Earth would be the chakras of the Earth. Do you get what I'm saying? So as within, so without, or as above, so below. So it's just showing the fractal based universe of how we are a universe within ourselves, if that makes sense. That's why, like, in a lot of the scriptures, it says the Christ in you and God in you, because that's what it's alluding to. Like, you are a universe within yourself. We're all our own universes.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
The microcosm, all connected. And it's like we were talking about.
Yeah, you're coming out a bit low.
Aye, say that again. Ah, he's cutting out a bit. Oh dear. Oh dear. The gremlins have come in. Is he cut out?
No.
Huh? Is it frozen? Frozen spaghetti.
Yeah, it looks like it's Skype. Don't look like it's him.
Oh, is it?
Looks like it's just the whole of Skype.
God
just wait. Let's
damn.
just see what it does, and then in the meantime, we've got the.
So check it, yeah. Mr. Green, he's saying, like, for instance, in rap, when it comes to this collective consciousness he was talking about, he's saying people come up with same rhymes around the same time. You can say they're influenced by the same things, but I think people are tuned into a certain way of thinking. And yeah, I think you're right. There's a certain frequency, you know, that a lot of people can be tuned into. Because even, like, you could see that with jokes or certain ideas. Even sometimes films come out, I think maybe that might not be, there's probably something more behind it, but I feel like with films and that, you often see that as well. And it's quite weird, like, right, how can these people think of the exact same, remember like that film, The Prestigious, and then there's a next film that come out and is very similar.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why would they do that, you know? But maybe there is a thing of collective consciousness or unconsciousness, and people just end up drawing. Yo, you back? Yeah,
I'm back, bro.
Yeah, wicked, man. Yeah, it was cut out for some reason, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, man.
Yeah, so oh man, where was he at? The Syncretism.
We've got the Syncretism
Society
page up beside. I'm just resizing it now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's like a big move, bruv, to be up on there and doing that sort of stuff, man. Like, really proud to see that, bruv. When I saw them mentioning your name and also the amount of feedback that you've been getting as well, I was like, yo, that's a big move. Like, that's some shit people might not never know nothing about, but they definitely need to know, man. Because the amount of information that you've probably uncovered over these years, it must be pretty crazy. Like, how do you, store all the knowledge? Like, in what way do you...
How do you store knowledge?
Yeah. He's cut out again. Because there's a lot to learn, bruv. There's a lot to learn.
You still there?
Yo, Mem.
Yeah, it was just cutting out for a while. But...
Okay, let me just get rid of this syncretism.
Put it on
site.
a different...
Hold on.
Because it might be the live thing.
Yeah,
playing up with
might
it.
be that. Hold on.
You know how we do Mother Lovers.
Right, let's try that one. Is that any good?
Yeah, shout out to Tesla. Mr. Green said Tesla. Shout out to Tom Dolan.
You back again?
Nicole Kisser.
Yeah, I can hear you
Lateral.
now.
Cool. I think it was just me having. I had your Syncretism Society web page up, and it moves. It's animated, so I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it might have been overloading my computer.
Art Sampson. Shout out to the crew in the building. Still, you know them way there. Still, like. Yeah, man.
So, do you want to give your plugs out again, Mems, just so people can contact you or follow you or whatever?
My YouTube channel is Conscious Minds TV, and my Instagram is Mem-DVG, and also you can check out the syncretismsociety.com website, and you can check out the YouTube channel, and also they have an Instagram as well. So yeah, they're the plugs. If anyone wants to email me or contact me or ask me any questions, you can do that at consciousmindstv@gmail.com.
consciousmindstv@gmail.com, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think I just... Oh, no.
Have you just
I tried to type it in the chat, but I messed it up.
Let me just put it in the chat for everyone.
Yeah. Yo, that Bananarama, man. I can't spell. All of a sudden, I can't spell anymore. That's how fucked up this shit is, boy. So how often are you doing the lectures on...
I'm at the moment, I'm doing 2 videos a week.
Oh, see.
They're like 30 minutes, some 20, some 40 minutes. I try to keep it short because obviously... You know what? It's much easier, like, talking to someone like face to face. When you're just talking to the screen, it feels weird, like, to a certain degree, but like I guess it's just learning and getting used to it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like that with my phone. Like, you know, when people are like, right, you should do Insta Lives, and I'm like, you know what, it just feels weird just staring at my phone and talking to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is.
It's easier having someone on the other side.
Yeah, on the other side to talk to you, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should do it live. I don't know. But yeah, look for DVG on YouTube, Conscious Minds TV, also syncretismsociety.com, and you lot sign up. I'm definitely going to sign up because I want to learn more about this. And I think like I was saying, like we spoke about it on previous episodes as well. Like I think the more people learn about this sort of stuff, the more they'll learn about themselves, the more we'll learn about each other, and the easier things will be. You'll be like, right, you know what?
Exactly.
Your sun is in Sagittarius and your moon is in, you know what I mean? Rare. We don't need to hang out tonight. Not tonight.
Bro, that's,
you know what I mean?
That's a really good point you just brought up as well, because I find that since I have learned about people's constitution and the way they are, it's like I can tolerate them more because I understand them more. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, again, like what you just said, it's about understanding each other and knowing, like, oh, if someone is full of fire energy, don't wind them up because they'll get angry quicker or whatever the case may be. It's just like you say, all it is and like, just say, for example, like you study it and then you think, oh, this ain't for me. Like at the end of the day, there's no harm done because you're just learning about new ideas.
Yeah,
Like you don't necessarily have to agree with it.
Yeah,
Like there's
exactly.
people tell me loads of stuff I don't agree with, but I still watch it because I just want to hear what stuff from other perspectives. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dan was talking about that as well. He's saying you should always follow the opposite, like, what was it? Your enemies, not your enemies, but you should always follow the stuff you're not into, just to make sure.
Yeah, of course.
Well, because you get fed the mainstream narrative by everything. That's what it's about, really. Is you're getting the mainstream opinion every time you talk to somebody because they're just telling you what they've read somewhere in a newspaper or seen on the BBC or something. So you're better off reading the stuff that they tell you not to read.
Did you see that? What's his name? Done what's her name in the what's his name the other day? Yeah, there's a lot of that in it.
Yeah, anything that's going against the mainstream narrative, just read it.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to make sure.
Yeah, man. There's no harm in reading it. I mean, I don't know. It just I don't know. Everyone's different, man. It's just like you can tell, like some people, some of this knowledge, and it's so overwhelming. Like they start going loopy, or they will like, for example, I always try not to like tell someone, like, just say who's got a house and mortgage and like they don't know nothing about this and they're in their matrix life. If I start dropping knowledge on them and they they start realizing, for example, that is true, like they could go think, oh, fuck this, fuck my wife and kids, none, all this is like, do you get what I mean? You do have to be careful on who you do tell this knowledge to, because it's quite groundbreaking knowledge, and you know, it just depends. Like, so.
And so,
yeah.
would you attribute it to us coming out of this Iron Age and going into a better metal?
Less dense age, which is why we're opening up to these things. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just,
Some people
like I said, it's just you're either meant to get it or you're not. It's just that's the way I see it, and it's
some people not ready for it, innit?
Yeah, it's just some people are not ready for it, and it's like the same way. It's the same thing with, like, you know, like when people bun and they start getting paranoid, for example. It's because the ganja is showing them the truth, or their bad habits, or something that they don't like about themselves. They start getting all paranoid and think, oh no, this is making me think things, but it's not. It's just
the weed.
People
find
it hard to face themselves.
It's just that weed, man. You know what I mean? I remember them times where I used to get para. You know, like when you were like, I don't know, 14, 15, bun in the zoo, bam, 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 bam. And then like you go and walk the street, it's daytime as well. And you go through the market and that, and you feel para. You feel like, oh, everyone can smell the weed on me, man. Oh. And then as you grow older, you're like, yo, I'm just high as a mother lover. That's all it is. I'm just high. Like, 1 minute you'd be like, oh, shit, man, I feel para. And then you go, oh, nah, I'm not para. I'm high. Yo, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. It's amazing, man. There's so many different rabbit holes you could go down with all of this as well. I think someone brought up the Sphinx. Was it Nicole Kisser? Do you want to break down the Sphinx? You know about the Sphinx, the riddle of the Sphinx?
Yeah, I do know a little bit about the Sphinx. From my understanding, the Sphinx signifies the axis of Leo and Aquarius, which is why it's half lion and half man, because Leo and Aquarius are opposite each other. So from what I've heard, that was built in the age of Leo, which is exactly, we're now exactly 12, like on the total opposite side, because we're on the age of Aquarius. So the Sphinx is actually very relevant to this age because it corresponds with that axis. I mean, I'm using all these words that might sound technical to people that don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, basically the Sphinx is based on the age of Leo and the age of Aquarius, because another thing is that when the sun is rising in the age in either Leo or Aquarius, the pyramids are aligned with Orion's belt as well. So again, I'd have to show you in a diagram to for you to make more sense of it. It's quite technical.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'd have to sort that out, like a little whiteboard in the background, you know what I mean? Just a 5-minute breakdown or some shit. Yeah, the riddle of the Sphinx I heard was exactly what you're saying there about the axis of Leo and Aquarius, and then it's the other two fixed signs as well, which are
Scorpio and Taurus.
And which is also Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Isn't that right? So
yes,
so
I've heard that, and I've heard that.
Because
the fixed signs are the 4-word name for God in Hebrew, Yod He Vah.
Yeah.
That's the 4 fixed signs as well in the tarot card, in the Wheel of Fortune. You got the eagle, the man, the lion, and the bull.
Exactly.
So it relates to that as well, yeah.
And so the eagle, so you got the eagle, the man, the lion, and the bull, and then that's what the Sphinx is, isn't it? Is meant to be like, is it the body of a bull or something like that? And then it's got the lion paws and something like that, isn't it? Man's head and the wings of an eagle. Is that right?
What's that?
The griffin.
Griffin. Griffin for real, isn't it? But yeah, it's a man's head. So that's Aquarius.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, hold on, am I going to get this right now? That's Matthew, right?
I'm not sure with the correlations, because I heard that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the four cardinal signs as well.
Ooh.
Like the like spring, summer, autumn, and winter. But again,
yeah, but they
There's
represent the fixed signs are in the middle of each season.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got, and then Luke is Taurus, as in Luke, Lucifer, the light, and then you've got Mark, that Mark and the lion for Leo, and then John. Yeah, because John, you know what I mean? Why John? Because John, man. Just cause. So John for
John
Scorpio.
I thought that John would correspond with Aquarius, because John and January is the same word. Because, because January comes from the two-faced god of Janus. Do you know the Roman god Janus?
Yeah.
Yes, but again, I don't know, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
Like, there's different. I've heard that it's the cardinal signs as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
My memory's gone right now. I think it's the Bananarama, but yeah, I remember it being something like that, and then so it all corresponds. It's just like, Jesus, man, these things are out there in your face. People are revering them, looking at them, but not really understanding what they are or what they represent. And it's amazing throughout all this time as well. It's crazy, boy. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mem, it's been a good one, bruv.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate
you
having me on, man. And I hope I made everything clear, because I know a lot of this stuff is quite intricate, and sometimes when I watch my shows back, I realise I say things the wrong way round. So if I have, I apologise, but I'll try to make it as clear as possible.
Yeah, bruv, you're not the only one who says things the wrong way round, man. Trust me, man. I mess up, man. Gangsters fuck up every now and again, you know what I mean? Players fuck up, man. That's all I can say, yeah. Yo, but it's been fun, bruv. Regardless, man, like, honestly, the amount of bits and bobs you dropped on us, woo, it's going to be rewind mode for a minute. Taking notes. I thought I could take notes live, but it's like, nah, just taking it in is enough to deal with, boy. That's a lot of knowledge. And I do like the background, man. It's like you got the sun and the moon.
One, man.
Sun and the moon there. You know what I mean? Duality.
Yeah, man. That's it, man.
Yeah, but we got to do it again, bruv.
Yeah.
Gotta get you on again.
If you ever want to focus on like anything more particular one day, like let me know, and I can make some notes, and we can go into something a bit more
Yeah, man.
particular. This
Yeah,
was a
that's a
bit
good
all
idea.
over the
That's a good
place.
one, yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
at least
it
everyone
will-
knows what you're into, and we've got a bit of a taste for you
Yeah,
know, what side
exactly.
of life you
Yeah.
walk down. So that's good. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, and I thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yeah, man.
Let's get
Appreciate
some
it,
fire
brother.
in the chat.
Fire in the chat,
Mems,
some
please.
likes, you know what I mean? Let the people know. Shout out to all the people that were in the building with us, man. I hope you lot enjoyed that as well. I told you it was one I was excited about, and boy, jeez. Like, it's one of them ones I'm going to have to watch back. For real, take some notes. Definitely. Take some notes, bruv. Hit him up at Mem-DVG on Instagram. Subscribe to his lessons on syncretismsociety.com. Do you know what I mean? And make sure you support the brother, man. He's from the community, so you know when you hear these sort of things.
Yeah,
You gotta
respect, man.
appreciate it,
Peace,
man.
man.
Yes, man. Bless, brother. Shout out to DVG. Yo, shout out to all the chat room. We appreciate you lot locking in with us. You know what I mean? As I told you, it's always going to be some shit you might not never know nothing about. I hope you lot learn something that you can go to sleep and dream about. Wake up thinking about unicorns and rainbow chakras and all that. You know what I mean? Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll be back next week, mother lovers.
Peace.
Shut up. Peace.
Yes, man.